What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to Tier Maker. Now, some of you, and about 200 to 300 of you, just got done watching my live stream of the NBA draft, where we covered the whole thing. We were live for like 4 hours. It was a ton of fun. We all had a great time on there. So thank you all for joining for what was probably the biggest thing on my channel so far, was having all of that. And now, as promised, I'm getting you guys a video right away, kind of summing up everything that's happened so far in the draft and grading how I think each team did in the draft, or at least for the first round. So we're grading all the first round teams. I let you guys vote, and some of you wanted to grade each draft pick, some of you wanted to grade more so the teams. So we're going to be doing the teams in this one, and as you can see, we've got grades A, B, C, D, F, and what the you know, and it's colored a certain way for some reason. I can't quite figure out why, but anyway, that's what we're going to be doing in this one. So hey, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. And shout out wifey, because it is very late and she's letting me continue to record right now for you guys, because she was satisfied enough with the ice cream money that she got. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Let's get into the tier maker. By the way, I apologize about the ads on the screen. The ad blocker or whatever, it doesn't really work on the website anymore. So obviously we've got the A through WTF rating. We also have an NA for teams that just didn't have anything to do with the first round of the draft, which again, you can see all of it right here. First of all, the Bucks. NA, and we're just gonna slide some teams around. This is just kind of a whatever order team, it is what it is. Let's start off with the Jazz. That's a fun one, right? The Utah Jazz shocked a lot of people today by picking up Ace Bailey. We figured that when the Jazz fell out of the top 4 after being the worst team in the NBA this last year, all hope was lost. Like, they're not going to get one of the 4 people. That was the whole point of this season. And all of the Ace Bailey, I hate to call it him because it's his agent talking for him. He's like, all he said, and I hope you guys remember this, is just, he's like, I'm just here to play basketball. Just here to play basketball. Obviously, he can tell his agent to not be so stupid, but he's 19. It is what it is. The talent of him is really, really high. And even though they said do not draft him, the Utah Jazz said, okay, bet money, dude, you're coming to play for us right now. And they took him. And then they traded up again to go get Walter Clayton, another guy that I think is a really, really nice basketball player. I think that this guy is going to be around the league for a long time. Nice shot creator, actually a solid defensive player, going to be in a good culture, place he can grow. I think this is really good for both of them. Ace Bailey's going to have solid NBA players around him day one, some solid vets on the team. I think this is great. I think the Utah Jazz crushed this draft. They very well could have won this draft for all we know. Just getting a talent like Ace Bailey at that point is phenomenal. All right, moving on to the Toronto Raptors, who picked Colin Murray-Boyles at number 9. And again, I advise you guys to go just like watch my live stream or whatever. It was 4 hours, like I said, so maybe don't watch the whole thing. Just go watch the reaction to the picks or whatever. Not a great reaction to this one. I don't understand what the Raptors are trying to build here. I really don't. Like, he's a good defensive player, he's a good passer or whatever. It just like Maluach was on the board. Why didn't we take him? I don't understand this pick whatsoever. It's a non-spacer on a team that already doesn't have like a great amount of spacing. I don't think it's going to help him develop by being here, and it just doesn't seem like the team need whatsoever. And by the way, I hope you guys know I'm rooting for every rookie, right? I say this all the time. I'm rooting for every single rookie. I hope they all find some success and some happiness in the NBA. I want them all to be great. I want every team to find some success. I hate this pick. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't think it was worth taking him that high. That's just my evaluation of a prospect on him, but also just the fit makes no sense. I just don't know where this team's going. Maluach was on the board. It seemed like such an obvious fit for them. So I don't know. Next up, the Miami Heat. Why does the Heat do this every year? Why are they the smartest ones every single year? Last year it was Ware, and we were like, how did Kelly Ware fall to them? And they took him, and it was surprise, he was good. Kasparas Yakachonis fell to them, man. He was one of the biggest fallers in this draft. The people that I know and talk to, we were all kind of like, yeah, if he doesn't make it past if he makes it past like a couple teams, those being the Pelicans in our eyes and the Nets, we were like, we could see him tumbling quite a bit. Didn't think he'd quite fall this far. I didn't think there was a chance he made it past Minnesota, but he did. But the Heat got him. They got their point guard, a guy that I think could legitimately start in the NBA day one. I really, really think so. The Miami Heat are going to do so well with him. I think they got an A for today. Good for them, man. Just basically they got an A for not being dumb. So good for them. The New Orleans Pelicans here. They had 2 picks. So they traded and got like an extra first round pick with Indiana like earlier in the week, right? By moving on from another pick or whatever, or giving Indiana back their other pick. So they moved up to 23, and then they moved up to 13 again by trading next year's first round pick, which Pelicans are not necessarily guaranteed to be good. They just had a Jordan Poole. And then they went and drafted Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears. Let's talk Jeremiah Fears first. We were all kind of a bit surprised by that one because since Trey Johnson fell, we were like, okay, Jeremiah Fears probably not going there anymore. Fears goes here when they've already got a couple other guards on the team that should be in front of him in terms of rotational minutes. That didn't necessarily seem like the fit for them there. Again, Maluach maybe seemed like a better option, if not somebody else. And then they went and traded up for Queen, again, trading their first round pick for a guy that I don't necessarily think complements the rest of their roster all that well. This just doesn't seem like the kind of center you want around Zion Williamson, but clearly they value him high. I don't necessarily get it. I'm giving the Pelicans a D. I think both of those players are very interesting in and of itself. I'm not sure I understand what the Pelicans are trying to do, especially with trading the first round pick next year. Doesn't make a ton of sense to you, boy. Does not make a ton of sense to you, boy. The Lakers, they did not have a pick today. The Nuggets did not have a pick today. My Chicago Bulls. Okay. So my Bulls took Noah Senge. You guys can go see my reaction here, right? I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Was not the biggest fan of it. But does that have like views? Wow, already 2K views on that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. There was other people I wanted. I wanted Carter Bryant. I wanted Asa Newell, however you want to say it. I would have even taken Yakachonis, honestly. That was a weird one. That was a weird one. That they took a Senge, but I don't think it was like bad. I just don't think it was great either. I felt like there were better options or whatever. I would have rather had like a Sorber even. I'm just not the biggest Senge fan. I don't like when a prospect doesn't have like a go-to thing like right away, and I'm not saying he's got to be like excellent at something right away. It's just like what is a Senge? We don't know. Like he's just an athletic body, right, in an interesting frame, and I'm like, you already have that with Buzelis. It just doesn't feel like, and this is what you get with the 12th pick, right? It's just there was some high upside, I felt like, other places. So for that reason, I just don't like where the Bulls are going, right? It just doesn't quite make sense to me. The prospect is weird in my eyes, so I'm going to give the Bulls a C. Because, again, I still like that they swung for upside with this, but I feel like it could have been better. The Timberwolves here, they ended up taking Joan Beringer, or as we learned, Jean Beringer. Is that the like correct pronunciation of it? We figured there was a chance of this one happening, right? You took a look at him and you were like, okay, like we're gonna need another center eventually. He's probably not ready to play day one, so we can give him some time to develop or whatever. He's a nice athlete, shot blocker. Rudy Gobert can talk shit in French with other people. Cool. Exciting stuff. Again, I don't think he sees many minutes this next year, maybe even the year after that, but long term you could have a really interesting prospect here because he hasn't been playing basketball for very long and he's already this coordinated and this big. It is interesting, right, as a long-term center option. I do think there was better options here. I would have taken Walter Clayton, Nolan, or Yakachonis over him personally, but I don't think it's a bad pick overall. So for that reason, I think I'm pretty comfortable going with C for here. Like C's just kind of like, okay, yeah, solid pick. There were probably better options, but like it wasn't like a dumb pick, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder. Here's my thing, right? So the Thunder had 2 first-round picks. They traded out of one of their first-round picks. I don't remember exactly what they got besides just like a future pick or whatever, and they traded with the Kings. But they also took Thomas Sorber, who we were a little bit surprised to see go. Here's my thing. I don't feel comfortable even like grading this team because every single year they take someone and I go, really, you took that person that high? And then I feel stupid about it. And so for that reason alone, I'm going to give them a B out of safety, a B for my own safety. Cause like I again, like the positional need and everything is like kind of there. So I can kind of see it. Cause like your centers just get hurt a lot on this team. I felt like Sorber was picked maybe a little bit high, but the Thunder know what they're doing. They got a good developmental system, so shout out OKC, man. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like we like Sorber's defensive like energy that he plays with. He seemed really excited about going here. I mean, he's going to the champs, right? And like I said, a great developmental group. Clap it up for them. Clap it up for them. Although the Thunder did trade one of the picks, and we knew that they needed to, so you could maybe say an A for that reason. I feel like there were better options still potentially for them, because who else could they have taken afterwards? Not that. Not that. We'll get to that. I guess there wasn't like a super obvious pick. Maybe like Asa here. Maybe the Thunder deserve an A. Maybe the Thunder deserve an A because of that trade as well. You guys let me know. The Grizzlies, they ended up trading up again after getting into the first round. They moved up to number 11 to go get Cedric Coward. They didn't move anything that was like super important in my eyes, and this is a guy that makes a lot of sense for them, like positionally, what he does, just being kind of a shooter that could be a solid defensive player as well. Doesn't need the basketball to be successful. After they just trade Desmond Bane, I think this is a great replacement. The Grizzlies have also been one of the better drafting teams over the past couple years. I think it's a really good pick. I don't have a reason to call it like excellent by any means, because I think there's a lot of mystery around Coward still, but I think it's a very solid pick. The Mavericks drafted Cooper Flagg. They get an A. Good for them. They didn't mess it up. Good for them. We saw a lot of jokes about like, okay, like they tied up Nico Harrison and threw him in a closet so that they could make this pick, and then they let him out afterwards. So that was funny. The Spurs crushed it as well, man. Shout out them. They took Dylan Harper. They did the easy thing, and then Carter Bryant was there for them. High upside in a potential or in a position that they desperately need. They needed size and shooting at the wing, and they went and got it, and it just feels like he's going to become a stud for them. And the Spurs, like the rich stay rich. That's what we learned in this draft. The rich stay rich. So Spurs, you guys get an A from me. You guys get an A from me. The Phoenix Suns. Wow, was this one ever interesting? So Kaman Maluach was the pick there. He slid all the way to 10. We were shocked about that. A lot of us wanted Maluach to keep falling and stuff. I know like some Hawks fans were interested in him when they still had like a pick around there. I know I was interested as the Bulls with 12. When the trade got announced, there was a trade that got announced right at this time where Mark Williams got traded to the Suns for their like 29th pick. I just presumed that the 10th overall pick was a part of this, so that the Hornets could go take Maluach, and they didn't. The Suns traded like a future 2029 pick that's not like that great, and the 29th pick for Mark Williams. So like great, and they got Maluach. Phenomenal job by them. They needed centers. They got centers. They get an A as well. Like a lot of teams doing well so far. We absolutely love it. Good for them. So yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I'm happy for Suns fans. I think they deserved this after everything that's kind of happened. It makes the Kevin Durant trade look even better. The fact that they got Maluach. So kudos to them. They got him and Mark Williams. You're good to go. Nick Richards is now a movable piece. The Clippers, they had the last pick of the first round, and they took Yannick Conan Niederhauser. Honestly, I like this pick the more I think about it. I kept saying they should take Reynaud, but honestly, Yannick could be a much better player than him. I just don't always like the energy that he plays with, and I think he's just a little bit lazy sometimes, but he's got good talent and great size and great shot blocking. The Clippers desperately need another center, and they probably do have the culture to take him in and maximize all of that. So I think this is a great pick. Like, in all honesty, I think the Clippers get an A as well. I think it's a perfect pick for them. I really, really do think so. Golden State did not have a pick. Okay, let's talk about this. The Brooklyn Nets, we said, no way they keep all 6 of their picks in this draft. They're going to trade some of these first round picks. No, I say nay. They decided, AVC, we're keeping all 5 picks, and we've got plans for those 5 picks. Let me take you through what happened. We were shocked. Yegor, all the way at 8, goes there. We were like, they didn't take Yakachonis? Really? They took Yegor over him? We're shocked. Wow, they're really buying in on the upside of Yegor. Okay, that's their first round pick. Then pick 19 comes around. They take another pass-first point guard. We go, what? Interesting. Why? That doesn't make... This is a weird draft so far. Then, a couple picks later, they take Drake Powell, another guy that does not want to shoot the basketball. Maybe a bit of a stretch for him, an interesting physical talent, if nothing else. We're like, okay, that's weird. And then they go back to another ball-dominant guard that's like a solid passer as well, and Ben Seraph. We're like, what the fuck are they doing? And then they get another pick right afterwards, and they take a ball-dominant center. what's going on? Help me understand. Like this draft made no sense for them. Like there's upside. Don't get me wrong, there's upside in it, but like we were talking about it on there. They're like, you're just not doing these players any justice. First of all, coaching this team is going to be just a mess next year, trying to make all of this work. What are you doing with Cam Thomas now? Like, you basically just told him, like, well, you have to take every single shot on the team next year, and we're not going to pay you any money because look at all the guards we have to fit on the court. None of the guys you drafted could probably even start for you next year. So what, you're just going to have 5 first-round picks just coming off the bench, I guess? Like, you hope that just like some of them work, I suppose. But the thing is, like, none of these guys can help each other. Like, it's just going to be a mess, and none of them are going to be able to like do what they do best. And I don't know, you guys get it, right? You guys understand. Like, it doesn't make sense. What are the Brooklyn Nets doing, man? Like, you guys went in thinking you might get Ace Bailey, and it just threw it all off. So there you go. Detroit didn't have a pick today. Sacramento ended up trading into the first round with the Thunder. The Thunder just, again, continue to steal all of our assets. And the Kings did end up picking Nick Clifford. Nick Clifford, I like a lot as a prospect. I don't exactly know why the Kings felt the need to move up to get him, though. I feel like there's other needs of this team. Like, I don't feel like you should be giving up, like, other draft assets and stuff if you're this group right now. I mean, you're this close to needing to do a complete rebuild, right? And they're like, oh, this is a culture fit and stuff like that. I'm like, what culture? Your team is getting flipped like at any given moment, and you've got like new coaches in and all this other thing. Like I said, I like Nick Clifford. I don't get what the Kings are doing. So they don't get an F. They get a D, though, for sure. I just don't get it. Cleveland, they didn't have a pick. The Boston Celtics, I thought they did really well here. They took Hugo Gonzalez here, a guy that does not need the basketball. He's played pro ball for a while already with Real Madrid, one of the better international teams. He's got a couple things that he can do as a rookie to help right away, which is play intense defense. He's a good athlete. He can step out and hit a little bit. He's got a really reliable floater shot, which is huge for rookies. And again, most importantly, he knows how to play off of good basketball players. So the Jaylen Browns, the Anthony Simons, the Derek Whites, all of these guys, hell, Georges Niang, he can just play off of those guys and potentially be a fit for them. I don't know if he'll get minutes right away in the NBA, but it's a good option for them. So for that reason alone, I don't think it's like a home run hit per se, but I think it's a really good one. I like that one. The Philadelphia 76ers, they just had the one pick here. They don't get Ace Bailey, which I think should... Like, I don't want to knock them because they took VJ Edgecombe, right? Who... for all accounts, I also think is an all-NBA talent. So, like, that alone should just put you in a category. Even if you didn't get maybe who you wanted the most in Ace Bailey, that whole situation was weird. You still walked away with VJ Edgecombe. You shouldn't be completely sold on Jared McCain or anything like that. So I think it's just fine to add the talent. If nothing else, he's going to have some good people to develop around. And so worst case scenario, if everything falls apart for you, Philly, you've got VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey. That's fun. So I feel like I should just give you an A because I just think the talent is so good. Hornets. Let's talk Hornets. They took Con Knipple at 4. They said, nope, we're not going to risk it with Ace Bailey. Fair enough. We kind of figured, okay, they could take Maluach then and trade, but the Hornets like missed out on Maluach twice, which seems weird when they were actively trying to trade Mark Williams. It just doesn't quite make sense to me. I like Con Knipple, don't get me wrong, and I think he fits on the team with what they got right now. Is he going to start for them right away? It feels unlikely to me, but I mean, that doesn't matter that much really, if at all. I like the culture fit and everything. I think that's cool. It just feels like a reach, right? And then they took Liam McNeely because, again, they traded Mark Williams. We knew that he kind of had to go. They feel like they're very much without a center now. There was centers available for them to take here, which felt like they could have made some sense. Like, hell, Yannick could have been a decent guy for them, and maybe they didn't feel like they had the culture to develop him. So you got 2 guys that, again, good culture fits. They're trying to clean up that organization. That makes some sense. Maybe not the highest upside guys, is what it is, but you should have some good floor spacing now, I guess. Like, I don't think it's bad. Like, it's not D. It just feels like a C, right? It's like, okay, like, these players are logical, like, fits within the system somehow. It's just, was that all really worth it? Like, again, the Mark Williams trade was kind of weird. We kind of concluded in the video or in the live stream that we're like, look, they had to move him. They had to. The negotiations for him weren't going to be good. Everyone knows, like, the physical and everything isn't good. So, you know, you were kind of stuck with what you had. But anyway, we press onward. By the way, let's just get rid of these teams. Like the Knicks didn't have a pick, the Rockets didn't have a pick, the Hawks did, Blazers, Pacers didn't have a pick anymore. Let's talk about Washington. Washington lucked out because Con Knipple shot up Trey Johnson, who I have to imagine was one of their top people. I know I was alluding to Jeremiah Fears a lot. From what my people had communicated with me, and this isn't saying that I do or don't work within Washington. I just have a lot of connections there, is what I'll say. Fears was a guy that they liked quite a bit. They didn't figure Trey was going to be available. Trey was available, so they got Trey. It's great. I think the Wizards have been doing pretty well recently, in all honesty. The trade with Jordan Poole, I thought, made a lot of sense. They've got a lot of good vets on the team that are going to be perfect for Trey Johnson. He's got Chris Middleton and CJ McCollum and Marcus Smart as his vets coming in right away for a guy that really, he's all he knows how to do is score the basketball right now, and he needs to learn the rest of the game. Those are perfect guys to teach him the rest of the game. So he's going to be in good hands. Good job, Washington. Washington, you're building your team the right way right now. You got a guy like this that needs a certain type of reinforcement, and you're doing it. And then they took Will Riley, another upside guy that just needs to be refined in a lot of ways. He does feel redundant to Keyshawn George, but hey, then hopefully one of them works out. So I think the Wizards crushed it, man. I really do. I think you did really, really well. The Orlando Magic, they took Jace Richardson here. We figured it'd be him or Danny Wolf. They needed shooting. They got a shooter. We like the fit of him, even though he's a weird point guard offensively, on a team that's constructed a little bit weird, where your ball is in the hands of like Franz and Paolo at all times on this group. It's nice to have a point guard that doesn't need to have the basketball, I guess. And so defensively, he can guard other point guards. That should be fine. He's got a ways to go, but at least you got a shooter at the point guard spot. So I still think Wolf was a better option, but I like it. I give it a B. I think it was good. Atlanta had an interesting day. They ended up trading down all the way to 23 because they moved a couple of times or whatever recently, and a guy that they could have gotten at 13 in Asa Newell, they ended up getting him anyway. So they acquired a couple more assets. They got that because they got the future first round pick, right, from the Pelicans. So they got like the Pelicans first round pick next year. So after the Hawks like were in such a draft pick hole, they've now have acquired like this like really good draft pick, or I should say the Hawks were in this draft pick hole, and they got an Asa Newell. Do I think that there could have been some better fits there? Potentially, but I think this is a guy that'll fit their system well. I think he can play well off of Trey. You've got a lot of options at bigs now between Onyeka Okongwu, Asa, and Kristaps. Like you kind of have like Onyeka's on one side of the spectrum, Porzingis is on the other, and Newell's kind of in the middle. So I like it. I think it makes a lot of sense. You compare him with Jalen Johnson as well. You've got a real versatile team now in Atlanta. So Atlanta, you guys are making moves right now. I'm not going to call it an A per se, because again, I do think that maybe they could have done a little bit something else. But you got the pick as well. Ah, man, you got a guy that you could have drafted there. Maybe I do have to give it an A. Do I have to give it an A? I think so, because like there wasn't like a super logical pick there. So let's give them an A. They did well. Finishing it off with Portland. Oh, Portland, the weirdest pick of the day. Took Hanson Yang this high. Yeah, I know. So this could make me look like such a fraud of a scout and everything, but I will feel good knowing I was not alone here. I have read some text messages from other scouts. We're all shocked. We are all shocked by that pick. They took Hanson Yang with the 16th pick. When I evaluated him, he made the big board. I'm like, this guy can be an NBA player. I'm like, I don't think he can play in the NBA this year. I'm like, I think you have to send him back to China, let him develop a little more. I don't know what he can do right now. I'm not the only one that thought that. A lot of people thought that. We've kind of figured mid-second round for him. This is insanity to me. Like, even if you were this high on Hanson, you shouldn't have picked him here. Nobody else was going to pick him here. I have not heard from anyone that someone else is willing to pick him here. And what pisses me off more so than anything else is this is just what Portland does, man. This is like, you wonder why like certain teams get bad reputations. Like this team just took Donovan Clingan last year. And now they're going and taking a guy like this with a pick and like reaching for him and showing all this interest in him. And it's like, you already have all these other centers on the team and you're trying to find minutes for Clingan. And now you're taking guys like this that don't benefit all the other young guys on your team. It just doesn't make sense. Like we were afraid they were going to take Jonas here. And we were all going to be like, look, you haven't even tried to develop Scoot Henderson. Like what are you doing? And now I just don't get it. It's an F pick for me. Like, no, this is a what the fuck pick for me too. I don't understand. Like I said, if he turns out and works out, I'm going to be like, I'll look really dumb, and shout out to Portland for that then. But like, even still, like, the logic just doesn't make sense. You just didn't need to pick him there, right? You could have just taken him somewhere else. Like, we liked the pick, or we liked them trading back. Like, that made some sense. They traded with the Grizzlies. They got some other assets, but then they went and did this. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know, y'all. That's my tier list. It's not the longest video in the world. I figured I'd make it quick. You have a whole live stream you can go watch of me with all my reactions if you're that interested in it. But I want to make sure wifey gets to bed, y'all. It's 11:15. I got stuff to do in the morning. So I'm going to make sure wifey's happy. She's very thankful for the ice cream donations, by the way. As soon as I came out from the bedroom and like went to like give her a hug, I was like, oh, I'm sorry I made you wait so long. She went, how much money did you make? So that's wifey, man. She's the best. She's awesome. But seriously, let me know your thoughts down below. Shout out to the second round tomorrow. Reminder, this is the last video you're getting this week because your boys got to do some traveling. But I appreciate y'all as always. Let's move on to the comments of the video. All right, y'all, comment of the video is just everything on the final mock draft at this point. It's so funny seeing it at the end. Jack Swanson here. I never go into a draft hoping for the draft to draft someone. He's like, I just fully trust him, and that's happening again today. Kai right here. The Brooklyn Nets need Ace Bailey. Well, little did you know you need 5 point guards is actually what you need. Riley here. Portland getting Khan at 11. Nope. He went 4. Drinks on me. You get Hanson Yang. There's just so much here. So much here that I think is so funny to look back at it. Now, shout out this person that just said, fuck it, I'm subscribing. This is the true comment to the video. Ron Smoke right here. I love it. It's so cool. It's so cool. I'm really happy with how things went today. Thank you guys for the support as always, and hope you guys have a good weekend. Thanks. This whole week was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'll see you guys next week for some sort of content one way or another. But yeah, have a good one, y'all. Thanks so much. Good night.